last class. Okay. Now kindly mute your audio, all of you. Okay. So in the previous class, we have discussed about democracy. The word democracy, from which word it originate, and what is the definition of democracy, and the features, few features we have discussed. Okay. So we will just recapitulate what we have learned. Bunch, just tell me from which word democracy has originated.
Demos and Kratos.
From which language?
Greek language.
What does it mean?
It means for the people, of the people, by the people.
Bro, that's democracy statement.
Demos. No, I'm asking demos meaning?
Demos meaning people.
Kratos?
Power.
Rule or power?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gauri, just give me the definition of democracy.
It is a form.
It's a form of government
In which
elected
by the people.
Smriti, can you try? Smriti?
Yes, ma'am. Democracy is a form of government in which the rulers are elected by the people.
Rulers are elected by the people. Very good. Then we have also discussed about the features. So, Treya, can you just give me any two features of democracy what we have discussed?
The final decision-making power rests with the people who are elected. And also it's based on free and fair elections, so that the party which is currently ruling also has a fair chance of losing.
Okay, good. Okay, good. So the next question, why Pakistan cannot be called as a democratic country under Parvez Musharraf? Uditi, are you there? Tell me.
It cannot be called a democratic country under that general spark, because he overthrew the government first of all, and
then
it was kind of like dictatorship, because he extended his own tenure.
Yeah, through what? Through what he extended? Through
illegal means.
Illegal means, or we can say that through the referendum. Referendum, he had extended his tenure, and he had issued a legal framework order, and through that he has amended the Constitution of Pakistan. Then continue. Then
that time all the departments and offices had full corruption and malpractices.
And you can say that though the election is happening in Pakistan, but the elected representatives have some power, but the final decision making is invested with whom?
Parvez Musharraf.
Parvez Musharraf. Okay, so we cannot call it as a democratic country. Now, tell me, Sachi, tell me why China cannot be called as a democratic country? Are you there? Is absent. Sparsh, tell me.
Can I say?
Yeah, Sparsh.
No, I'm not Sparsh.
Who is that?
Me, ma'am. No, it's me. Ma'am, so like we can't call China a democracy because like all the people who contest the elections are from that same party. Like if you want to fight the election, you first need to get the Chinese Communist Party's
membership.
Then only you can fight the elections under them.
Okay.
So like the elections only for the people of the Chinese Communist Party, like, will get what rank in this one.
Okay. Now coming to
also there is no opposition party in China.
Yeah.
There's no
so we can say that in China, the election is not happening in a free and fair manner. Okay, that is one of the major feature of democracy that is not happening in China. So we cannot call China as a democratic country. And coming to the Mexico, we have learned that Mexico, why we cannot call it as a democratic country? Dia, tell me. Dia is present.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me, Dia. Why Mexico cannot be called as a democratic?
Ma'am, people are forced to vote for the same party.
Okay. What are the malpractices they will do usually during the time of election?
Well, they use like tricks to win the election.
They will force the government officers to vote for the same party. Which is the party there? Which is the party in Mexico? PRI. Very good. Institutional Revolutionary Party. And also the government school teachers also force their parents to vote for PRI. And again, we can say that
the toll booth.
Yeah, correct. So they will shift the polling booth at the last minute, and it will be difficult for the people. Good.
Ma'am, all the people who were employed in government offices had to attend its party meetings.
Yes.
Ma'am, what if the citizens don't vote for the PRI?
Few may not vote, but when the party is getting the majority, they will come to power. No.
Ma'am, how would they get to know?
What if the majority citizens don't vote only for them?
See, children, in India also we know that. Whether all 100% of the people are voting in India? No. So it depends. Some certain region, the voting percentage will be high. Certain part, it will be low. It depends. Okay. See, we know that they are doing lots of malpractices during the time of election in Mexico. So somehow they will try to get their party to win the election.
Ma'am, if they are the leading party, they can also go change the votes in the government office. They can go change the number of votes and all of that.
All these things also will be happening. Okay. All those things also can happen because they are the ruling party. And I told you that one of the important feature is the ruling party also should have the equal chance of
voting.
Losing the election, not voting, losing the election. Then only we can call it as a free and fair election. See this, all of you see the second point. A democracy must be based on a free and fair election where those currently in power have a fair chance of losing. That's what I have told you that. So if they are taking all these malpractices, dirty tricks to win the election, definitely they will win the election. The ruling party will only win the election. So we cannot call it as a democratic country. Now coming to the third definition, third feature, we can say that in a democracy, each adult citizen must have one vote and each vote must have one value. It means the universal adult franchise, there is no discrimination. Whoever it may be, educated, uneducated, there is no economic, they will not see any economic status in India, we will not see any religion, any language, all the votes are having equal value. But when we are considering few countries, we can say that this is not happening. For example, we can say that
Sir, can't voice chat much.
We can see that in Saudi Arabia, the women do not have the right to vote. In Saudi Arabia, Soham, please. In Saudi Arabia, women do not have the right to vote. We can say that in 2011, we can see that only in 2011 only Saudi Arabian women got the right to vote. Okay, so that too in the King Abdullah, he has granted the women to right to vote only in the local election. For example, municipal corporation election. Kindly mute your audio. All of you.
Stop blowing into the mic, man.
Enough. Okay. So in Saudi Arabia, till 2011, women were not having the right to vote. But in 2011, King Abdullah granted the women to right to vote and stand in the election in 2015. From 2015 onwards, women were having the right to stand in election, and also this is not for the major positions, only the local levels like municipal corporation and other posts. Okay, again coming to next country, Estonia, it is in Europe, made its citizenship rules in such a way that people belonging to Russian minority find it difficult to get the right to vote. We can see that in Estonia, it is a European country where the ethnic composition is like this. Estonians are 68%, Russians are 25% minority, and Ukrainians are 2.1. So here they have given the right to vote only to the Estonians. All the other minorities, they didn't give the chance of, or they didn't give the right to vote. So that is also against the feature what is given in given. So here we cannot call Estonia also a democratic country, because one person, one vote, one value is not happening in Estonia, because Russian minority, 25% of the people in Estonia are Russian minority. They are not having the right to vote. Again, coming to Fiji. Fiji is actually an island country where we can see the electoral system such that the vote of an indigenous Fiji has more value than that of the Indian Fijian. So the people, those who are indigenous to Fiji, the original Fijians, their voting value have more value. That is, their vote is having more value than the Indian Fijian. We can say that the Indian Fijians means the people, those who are descent from India. That is the who trace their heritage from various regions of Indian subcontinent. They are called as the Indian Fijians. So the Indian Fijians vote is not having as equal value to the vote of the indigenous Fijians. So here in Saudi Arabia, Estonia and Fiji, we can understand that the third feature of democracy is not working. What is the third feature, Soham? What is the third feature of democracy? Tell me. Soham, what is the third feature of democracy? What you are typing there? Tell me.
Ma'am,
Gauri?
so I'm saying four
Ma'am,
types.
can I say?
Gauri, tell me.
Is that each adult has.
Tell me the third feature of democracy, what we have discussed.
Ma'am, is that like each adult must have a vote, and a vote contains a one value?
Must have one value.
One value. Each person is having one vote. One vote is, that vote is having one value. Okay. So here in Estonia and Fiji and even Saudi Arabia, we can see that this feature is not working. So we cannot, let me explain first. Okay, so we cannot call it as a democratic country. Saudi Arabia, Estonia, Fiji. So you can expect the question of give reason. Like why Saudi Arabia cannot be called as a democratic country, or Estonia or Fiji. So you can write in a simple words like Saudi Arabia, women do not have the right to vote. Only in 2011 they got the right to vote. That too only in the local positions. Okay, like municipal corporation and others. Again, Estonia also we can say that Russian minority find it difficult to right to vote. And in Estonia, 1 minute, Estonia, the indigenous Fiji group are having more value than that of the Indian Fijian.
Ma'am.
Tell me.
Ma'am, then in Saudi Arabia, the women have the right to vote, or is it that they can't stand for elections?
They can stand from 2015. From 2011, they got the right to vote.
Okay.
Okay. Now coming to the fourth feature, we can see that a democratic government rules within the limits set by constitutional law and citizens' right. A democratic government rules within the limits set by the constitutional law and citizens' right. That means that once the party or the rulers, they are elected, after their election, after they form the government, they cannot do whatever they like, whatever they want. Always they have to fulfill the interest of the people. They cannot rule like a dictator after the election. Always they have to see the opposition party, and also they have to see the demands or the interest of the people. They have to fulfill the interest of the people. With connecting to this, I'm taking you to the case study of Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe, we know that it attained independence from the European country from 1980. Since then, ZANU-PF is a political party. Actually, ZANU-PF we can expand What is ZANU-PF? Anybody is having any idea? ZANU-PF.
No,
ZA.
No, ma'am.
Ma'am, Zimbabwe, then something.
Zimbabwe African National Union Patriotic Front. Okay, Zimbabwe African National Union Patriotic Front is the ZANU-PF full form. Okay, so that party actually struggled a lot to win, get independence. Okay, so since then the country has been ruled by ZANU-PF. ZANU-PF is a major political party in Zimbabwe, and the full form of ZANU-PF is Zimbabwe African National Union Patriotic Front. So please be attentive. Again, the next class I'll be starting with questions. Okay, so you all have to answer me. So please be attentive in the class. So the party led the freedom struggle, and the leader. What is the name of the leader here?
Robert Mugabe.
Robert Mugabe has been ruling the country since independence. Okay, Robert Mugabe is ruling the country since independence. And we can see elections have been held regularly always. Which party will win? ZANU-PF. And what he has done is actually after winning the election, he had amended the constitution, he had increased the power of the president, and also he made his post less accountable to the people. Less accountable means that people cannot question him. We know in India, we are a democratic country and it is accountable to the people. In the 8th grade, please children, please. Can you mute your audio? Who's Deer? Who is Deer there? Tell me. Okay. Now we can see that.
Ma'am, has he been ruling for 50 years? Sorry, 40.
Who?
The Robert.
No. Now 2019 he passed away. Okay. So the leader, what he has done, the Robert Mugabe, but after electing, he changed the constitution and he uses even unfair practices for winning the election. So he increased the power of the president, make him less accountable. As what I am telling is, India, we know that we are a democratic country and our country is accountable to the people. Okay, it has to act according to the demands of the people. So as Mugabe made the his power as less accountable, so he is need not to answer to anybody. Okay, so he can do according to his wings. Okay, so opposition party workers harassed and disrupted. Though there are many parties, but opposition parties always they are harassed. There is a law that limits the right to criticize the president. So nobody can criticize the president Robert Mugabe, and also TV, radio, and other mass media were controlled by the government. Only give the ruling party's version. And also, if any journalist or anybody's or any media is writing anything against the president or against the government, they will be harassed. Okay, so and also the government has ignored some court judgment and which is coming against them, and also they always pressurize the judges. So we cannot call even Zimbabwe as the democratic country, because the first thing we can see that ZANU-PF, the ruling party, always they have changed the constitution, they have amended the constitution, and they increased the power of the president, and they made their power as less accountable to the people. And the other party, opposition, 1 minute, opposition party is not having any right to interrupt in their administration. If anybody is interrupting, they will be harassed. And also the media is completely under the control of the government. Nobody can write anything against the government, ruling party. Okay, so we cannot call Zimbabwe also as a democratic country. So here we have discussed about the 4th feature of democracy. A democratic government rules within the limits set by the constitutional law and citizens' right. They cannot take. So here the media is what we can say, media is not having any right or any power to criticize. That is stopping the right to, what it is stopping? Media is stopped by the ruling party.
Freedom of speech.
Exactly. Freedom of speech and expression. Freedom of speech and expression. See, last year, very detailed, we have learned about the freedom, right to freedom. Under right to freedom, we have learned freedom to form association, freedom to express or freedom of speech, freedom to travel anywhere. So many rights are coming under freedom. Rights are coming under right to freedom. So here, the right to freedom of expression, freedom of speech is stopped in Zimbabwe. Is that clear to you?
Ma'am, ma'am, you said that he died last year. So right now is Zimbabwe a democratic
No.
country?
Now also the ZANU PF is ruling the country. I think you have we have to just see. Okay, 2019 he has passed away. Okay, tell me.
We have to buy out every single country we just discussed. Zimbabwe, Saudi Arabia.
I will tell you something. So the question can be asked in such a way. So if the question is asked why Zimbabwe cannot be called as a democratic country, definitely you have to write about Zimbabwe. If you are writing about, if I ask you explain the features of democracy, you can explain these points. Okay, but if I am specifying any country, you have to write with that particular country. Okay, we have, it's easy only. No, where what difficulty you are facing here? Pakistan, very easy. China, Mexico, we have learned same problem. China and Mexico. Again, coming to Saudi Arabia, Estonia, and Fiji. Tell me.
Ma'am, so in the fourth point, even you can write other types of governments go against this fourth point, right?
Which country you will write there? Tell me.
No, ma'am. I'm saying even the other types of governments go against the fourth point, right?
Democratic rules within the. Okay. Usually, I will tell you from this chapter, they will specify the countries. That is the problem. Last time also, they have asked Saudi Arabia, Fiji, and Estonia. Give reason type of question was there. So it's better what is given in the textbook. You have to see now. We are actually preparing for the board exam. So each and every line of the textbook is important. You cannot generalize the answer. If you
but if they don't specify the fourth point, which kind
then
of
you
country?
can write. Yeah. Actually, here 1 minute, Ayan, 1 minute. You just listen here. Here we are discussing the countries, those who are pretending to be like democracy, but actually they are not democratic. That is why we are taking the example of Pakistan, China. Then when we are learning about China, we just at a glance we will say that China is a democratic country because elections are happening. But actually, it's not a democracy. That is what I'm telling you. It's better you specify the countries and learn. That will be better.
Okay. China is a communist, right?
Yeah, communist party, single party system. Okay, now.
Excuse me, Nancy, I have a question.
Okay, tell me.
Before we discuss Saudi Arabia and Australia, before you discuss Saudi Arabia, Estonia, and Fiji, did you discuss anything else?
We have discussed about Mexico, no? Mexico, China, Pakistan.
I was in last class also.
Last class you were not there?
Last class I was there. I had trouble logging in today. I was 10 minutes late, so I wanted to check.
Oh, no. We started with the Saudi Arabia only. Okay.
Okay.
Ma'am, the current president of Zimbabwe is Emerson Mnangagwa.
Okay.
Who?
Okay.
Emerson Mnangagwa.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, listen,
Nidhi. Nothing.
Okay, now we will move to the merits of democracy. Okay, we will move to the merits of democracy. So we have to, I told you that this chapter is actually very simple. Only few topics we have to discuss. That is the definition already we learned, and features we have just now we have completed. Then merits of democracy, demerits we have to learn, and what is democratic and direct democracy and indirect democracy. So now we will move to the next concept, that is merits of democracy. You just tell me what are the, after reading all these things, after discussing all these features, you just try to tell me what are the merits of democratic government. Sanjana, give 1 point. The merits.
merits of democracy.
Yeah, merits of democracy.
All citizens are treated equally.
No, wait. Let her try.
Ma'am, all citizens, irrespective of gender, caste, sex, are all given equal rights to vote, and hence creating and there's no discrimination there's only equality.
Okay.
And also yeah, that is
okay. Enough. Jigisha, can you try? Jigisha.
Ma'am, it's they don't discriminate between others, I guess.
Discriminate between? There is no discrimination. No. There is political equality in democracy.
Yeah.
Jigisha, trying.
Then,
Ma'am, can I answer?
Okay, then try.
Oh, me.
Ma'am, the government.
Some units, there's a lot of unity. When democracy is there, then you can make better decisions.
Exactly.
People have the right to choose their leaders.
And then no
People
one
have the right to choose.
The country is governed with transparency. The country is governed with transparency.
Very good, exactly. Country is governed with transparency because
there is a freedom of expression.
Government is more accountable.
Okay, so all these points are correct. Now we will just see actually what are the merits we have to discuss here. The first merit of democracy is democratic government is a better government because it is more accountable form of government. What does it mean? What does it mean? Democratic,
that we can question the government.
Yeah, we can question the.
They cannot act roguely.
Correct. They have to fulfill the needs of the people, and also they are answerable to the people. Whatever decision the ruling party or the government is taken, they are answerable to the people. Okay. So here I will be explaining to you with the example of China. Actually, in China, famine of 1958 to 61. Famine happened in 1958 to 61. 3 crore people died. Okay. When we are learning about China, we can understand China got independence after India. Okay, so China's economic status was better than India, but still the famine, we can see that in 1958 to 61, when it occurred in China, it was a worst condition for China. Nearly 3 crore people died in that. Okay, and we cannot say that in India it didn't happen. In India also in 1966, 67, very worst condition took place. But we were not in the condition of China during that period. The main reason is we have a strong opposition party. So whatever the government is taken, whatever decision the government is taken, a strong opposition party is there to question them. So they cannot do according to their own decision. They have to see the interest of the people, and also they have to satisfy everyone. In China, there is no opposition party. So whatever decision they have taken may not be good because nobody is questioning them. So that is the reason that the death of the 3 crore people. So here from this example of China, we will understand that a democratic government is a better government because it is accountable form of government. They are answerable to the people. But in China, no, the government need not to answer to anybody because it's a single party system. There is no opposition. So here what happened? The death of so many people and the worst condition occurred during the time of famine. Okay, so that example you can write with this particular merits. A democratic government is a better government because it is more accountable form of government. Okay, so in China and India, you can compare and write this example. Now coming to the next merit, democracy improves the quality of decision making. We know that in a democratic government, the decision making is a lengthy process. Last year, we have learned how the bill will become a law. Pranati, how the bill will become a law? Is Pranati there?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me, Pranati.
So the bill is first proposed to the Lok Sabha, and then the people vote on it. And if the majority voting is for the bill, then it is passed to the Rajya Sabha, and the same process takes place there.
Okay, and it
And
will
then after
take a
that-
long time to pass it. Okay, so at the same time also we can say that decision making is a very lengthy process. A country like India, but whatever decision we are taking, it will be the best compared to other non-democratic countries. So the second merits of democracy, we can say that democracy improves the quality of decision making. And the third merits, we can say that democracy provides a method to deal with differences and conflicts. It is suitable to countries like India. India having diversity. We know that India is a country with a diverse population, diversity in religion, language, culture. We have different castes, subcastes, and the geographic, everything is very so much of diversity is existing in India. So we can say that democracy is the best form of government to implement because it deal with differences and conflicts. Okay, because each they have to satisfy each religious people, each linguistic people. Linguistic means each language group of people, and with the different culture. Everybody they have to satisfy. So democracy is actually dealing with that. So we can say that the third merits of democracy is democracy provides a method to deal with differences and conflicts. Okay, again coming to the last point, in a democracy no one is permanent winner or loser. We can say that the ruling party is also having the equal chance of losing the election. Okay, when we have discussed about Zimbabwe, Mexico and all, we have learned that the ruling party continuously they were winning the election. But in India or in a proper democratic country, we can see that the ruling party is always having the equal chance of losing the election. And again, coming to the next point, we can see that democracy is better than other forms of government because it allows us to correct its own mistakes. So whatever decision they are taken, we have the media, we have the people, they will take into account the decision or the expressions of the people. So the government can again change their decision. That shows that it allows us to correct its own mistakes. So a particular decision taken by the government, is not proper. It allows so a particular decision is taken by the government. They are having the chance to correct. If it's not proper, they can correct their mistakes. Again, the last point is very, very important. In a democracy, it enhances the dignity of the citizens. We know that when we were discussed in last year during the period of British rule, the people were just considered as what?
Unequal.
People were considered just as
Ma'am,
Sujan.
the people
Tell
were
me, Sujan.
Untouchable.
People were
Ma'am?
considered as
Ma'am, the people were considered as slaves and untouchables and low caste.
how Britishers were considered untouchables.
Like-
Britishers didn't consider as untouchables. No, they are actually
British
even the
superiors.
caste system was there in India. They considered themselves superior. Alakmar, any idea? Alakmar?
Ma'am, they were Indians were considered to be of lower standard than the British.
The term what it is used for them? Subjects. Subjects.
What?
Subjects. People were considered as just subjects
Subject.
without any respect. Okay. So in a democracy,
Could you
we
give
can
us
see
spelling?
subject spelling only.
SUBJECT.
Correct.
Okay, that's
So
obvious.
democracy enhances the dignity of the citizen. That means that from the subject to a citizen. So we are termed to citizens after independence, after our government has formed, after drafting the constitution. We can say that it enhances the dignity, our privileges, whatever privileges we got has increased. So last merits of democracy is democracy enhances the dignity of the citizen because it is based on the principle of political equality. There is no discrimination at all. Rich, poor, educated, illiterate, or man, woman, nobody. There is no discrimination. All are having the political equality on recognizing that the poorest and the least educated have the same status as the rich and the educated. So everybody are treated equally in democracy, and also we are following rule of law. What is rule of law? What is rule of law? Ganga?
You have to follow the
Ganga is there? What is rule of law, Ganga?
Ma'am, we learned it last year, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm asking.
Rule of law.
Rule of law.
Everyone is equal before the law.
Everyone, like Mark, correct. Everyone is treated equally before the law. There is no discrimination from the poor peasant to the president of India. From the poor peasant to the president of India will be getting the same
treatment.
Treatment, or we can
The
say
Equality. Equality.
same equality, or we can say that the same sort of they both are considered equal before the law. That means if they are doing some crime, both will be equally punished. Okay, so there is no discrimination on the basis of caste, creed, religion, sex, educational status, economic status. So everybody are treated equally, and also we can say that democracy enhances the dignity of the citizen. So once again, when we are discussing about the merits of democracy, it's a better form of government. First point, the key point you will underline accountability. First key point you will underline accountability. Second point you will underline quality of decision making. So the key points I am giving you now. The first key point is accountability. Second one is quality of decision making, and the third is differences. It deals with deal with differences and conflicts. And the fourth one is the ruling party is not a permanent winner or a loser. Again, the next point, you can say it corrects its own mistakes. And the last point, it enhances the dignity of the citizens. So here, I think, how many points I have given? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you try to learn all the points, and if the exam, if 5 point, any 5 marks question, if you are explaining 5 points, you will be getting the marks. Okay. Is that clear to you, all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
So today, we have discussed about, just we will recapitulate, we have discussed about Saudi Arabia, Estonia and Fiji, why they are not called, these countries are not called as democratic country, and also why Zimbabwe is not called as a, where is Tanveer? Tell me, Tanveer, why Zimbabwe is not called as a democratic country? Tanveer, I didn't see him today.
Ma'am, I'm here only.
Tell me, Tanveer. Why
Ma'am, what is the
Zimbabwe?
question?
Why Zimbabwe is not called as a democratic country?
Ma'am, because like there was this leader, this Robert Mugabe, and like ever since independence, he had been ruling the country. And then during the elections, he kept he did use unfair practices to win. His ZANU.
ZANU-PF. What is a political party? Yeah. ZANU-PF. Just expand it. What is the full form of ZANU-PF?
Zimbabwe African.
Zimbabwe African.
National Union.
Union Patriotic Fund.
Good. Very good. Then continue, Tanveer.
Yeah, so then when he became the president, he like changed the powers, made his power like more, and he harassed all the
media, journalists, and opposition.
Yeah, and all the oppositions. Then
made himself less accountable.
Okay.
He made wrong laws and all.
And amended the constitution and made his power less accountable to the people. Good, Tanveer. Excellent.
People and
enough. Excellent. Okay, now let me ask From A section. Thomas, tell me what are the merits of democracy? Thomas is there? Thomas? Thomas is not answering. Arsh? Arsh is also not there today. Hardik?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me, Hardik, what are the merits of democracy, what we have discussed? Any three merits?
Like a democratic government, because like it is more accountable from a government.
Exactly.
And then, yeah. Then no one is a permanent winner or loser.
Very good.
And it improves the quality of
decision. Exactly. Very good. Very good. Very good. Anirudh, tell me the rest of the points. Anirudh.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me, Anirudh. It enhances the
dignity of citizens.
It enhances the. Anirudh, tell me. It enhances the dignity of the citizen. Then it deal with the.
I can't hear you properly, ma'am.
It enhances the dignity of the citizen. Also, it deal with conflicts and
differences.
So these are the merits of democracy. Okay, so the next class we will move to the demerits and also what is direct democracy and indirect democracy. I hope all of you understood and all are clear with these concepts.